All right, all right, all right. In the words of the great Matthew McConaughey and later Kevin Hart, we are here for the first episode of Big Fish, Little Pond. Allow me to introduce the big fish. All right, I am Dr. Michael Allen. Here to help you out today, as well as Mr. Daniel Lewis, right, the other host. We're here really honestly because we had a lot of requests to sit down and talk to some folks out there about what we do, how we've done it, kind of the adventure that we've called our lives has taken us on this ride. And here we are sitting right now talking about some wine, which we're going to get to. But before we get to the wine, as you can see, LakePoint Vineyard, Montgomery owned winery, right there in the back. Viewer requested. Here we are to talk about it. And before I get into that, I got to show off the socks because I'm loving the socks right now. These are the Stormtrooper socks. All right, you feel me? So I had to get that out the way. All right. So first things first, Mr. Daniel Lewis. He has 26 years of Army experience, a lot of experience. He's got a lot of things going on with his life. He's done things that I can't even begin to talk about. But I'm going to talk about him anyway because I think I owe him that much. So first things first, the winery. This is what he's doing now. He also has a small business as well, mobile tech to you business based on what his background is within the Army. All right, his MOS. He's taken a lot of the skills that he's learned in the military and applied it to his civilian life. He networks, he does things with the community. He's really outgoing, and he's also got a lot of other things going on, helping out, mentoring other small businesses as well. And he just really likes to give back to people, and that's essentially what we're doing. We're going to talk about wine. We're going to pour some into our glasses, but most importantly, we're going to pour into y'all as we pour into ourselves. All right? So it's okay to be selfish in order to be selfless. That's the first nugget out there. We're going to put it out there because you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And we've done a pretty good job of taking care of ourselves, and we started to take care of others, and we want to start taking care of you as well. So on top of that, he's a really great guy. He's very charismatic, and he really knows how to get down to business and handle business. He tries his best in absolutely everything that he does. All right. Now, myself, I've got about 21 years of military experience. So between us, we got damn near 50 years of experience, 47 years to be exact, military experience in different positions, leadership. We started from the bottom and now we are here, literally and figuratively, right? Came in, E1, worked our way up through the ranks, and we, tactical, operational, and even in some strategic environments as well. So we're here to kind of go through all that with you in future episodes, but this is indeed our first episode. So, Mr. Daniel Lewis, is there anything you'd like to say before we start to get into our first featured wine, sir?
Yeah, I like to say, as we say in the military, hoorah! That's a soldier behind this person you see here. That's an internal soldier, which I have all my values and starting in life and the person who I am today is because the person I was in the military. So I just want to bring that out, let you know that I am coming from a military point of view.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. Like a lot of people, I think, see you now and they just take that at face value. They don't understand the trials and tribulations and everything that you went through to get here. Now, we are going to talk about it, especially in this first episode and in future episodes as well. However, if you want the version in print in front of you, or you can get it on Kindle as well, hardcover, but this is the paperback right here, right? Betting on Yourself, The Lottery Within, by this man right here, and I helped him co-author it. So go out there, check it out. It's on Amazon. Also, LakePoint, check them out online. Do a Google search. Actually, the link's actually going to be in the video for this. It's going to be in this video's links. So check it out as well. We got merchandise as well. We got everything down there. But he does make a good point. We're going to walk you through everything that we had to go through to get to where we are. Gifts and curses, right? Well, mostly gifts because we're here talking to you about it right now. So, sir, I don't want to waste any more time. I really want to get into this first wine. And the first wine that we're going to feature that y'all need to check out, it is called Perfect Peach. Now you're like, oh, wait, is that a little bit much, right? Is it really perfect? I'm here to tell you, it is. It is, right? I've seen the reviews, I've heard it from people, but I want to try it for myself, right? So Mr. Lewis is going to help us out here. And I really want to know about the background of this wine. Since this is our first episode, if I'm not mistaken, this was your first wine that you produced, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, give me a little history on the wine. We started dibbling and dabbling in wine making in 2014. And it basically occurred that we had so much fruit, we didn't know what to do with it. And being here in the South, of course, when we bought this piece of land, we started planting fruit trees because, the Florida background, like fruits. So I started planting what grows here. As they say, when in Rome, do as the Roman. When in the South, do as the South. The Southern people do.
Nice. Yep.
So peaches is a staple of the South. So I started planting fruit trees. Multiple fruit trees. Peaches, pears, apples, plum, figs, and just to see what would stick.
Mm-hmm.
And the peaches did very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had so much of peaches, we was cooking and canning and baking and freezing and giving away, and the peaches still kept coming. So me and my wife decided, let's try to make some wine. Speaking of my wife, she was in the Navy and stationed in Italy and Greece, so she know all about the wine stuff.
Right.
So we threw our hats in the ring and made some wine, and of course it wasn't all that good, but the peaches kept coming.
Right.
And we kept working with it. At first you don't succeed, try again.
Mm-hmm.
So as a military, failure was not an option. So we kept going, and we got it to the point where it was actually pretty good. So we let a couple of people taste it, friends, family, co-workers. It was like, wow, y'all made this, y'all need to sell this. And we was like, really? Okay. So we didn't really pay it any attention. So we just kept making wine. And we kept tweaking it till it became perfect. And people come from Georgia and buy the cases because Georgia is known for its peaches.
Hey, you know it's perfect then.
And they think, oh, this is Georgia peach. And I had to correct them. No, it's Alabama peach. It's Clanton peaches. But peach is peach. So if you want to claim the Georgia peach, hey, if that's what floats your boat, it's a Georgia peach.
Okay.
So, but I do remind them it's Alabama peach. So this is our very first wine, and we're really proud of it. And this is what started the wine business. So let's take a taste of it.
Hey, you know what? I was just waiting for you to give me the word. All right, so this is your perfect peach right here. Again, you can get this online, and they ship to 42 different states. So more than likely, that means you probably got about a 90% probability that, or close to it, that they're going to ship to you. Now, as a good host, I'll go ahead and pour yours first, just a little bit, because he don't need that much since he already knows all about it. So I'll go ahead and reserve most of it for myself.
So this wine, you can look at it. We try to appeal to all the senses. First sense is the visual test.
Yeah.
You look at it, we want it to be clear and want to look the color of the peach.
Yeah.
And the next test or sense is the nose. We want you to smell it. It smells like a peach.
Exactly.
And the third and the most important test is the tasting. And we wanted to taste just like a fruit, just like a peach.
Now, before I do taste it, a lot of people, right, we need to educate people on how to taste wine. Now, you can chug it. I've seen people do it, but that's not the preferred way. So let's talk to the expert on how we should taste this wine so we can really enjoy it as it's meant to be enjoyed.
So a lot of women come to the winery and they want to be all bougie and they throw the pinky finger up. And that's really just a bougie thing.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the wine. So in reality, what you want to do is swerve the wine in your glass. And the swerving is to mix up the flavors.
Okay.
All right? Or activate the fruit. And second, you want to taste it. When you taste it, swish it around in your mouth. So your brain can catch up with your taste buds and you get the full effect. So a lot of people say, I can taste the fuzz in here.
I can taste the fuzz.
And that's because we use the whole fruit, the peach, we squeeze it and get the juice. Now the fuzz comes from is the peeling, the hairy part of the peach. So when we put that in there, it's called tanning. That's where you get all the flavor and the fizz or the fuzz from the fruit. And that's how we get it a perfect peach.
Oh my God. This tastes just like a peach.
That was our goal, is to make it taste exactly like the fruit that we say it is. So there's no guessing.
I feel like, remember the old school Willy Wonka movie? Like when they were chewing the thing and they tasted like the whole meal.
Right.
It was like, oh, first coming up is an appetizer for this, and this. This is the entree. This is dessert. I feel like this is some Willy Wonka type stuff because I feel like I'm not even playing. Like literally, figuratively, metaphorically, I'm drinking a peach right now.
So people ask us a lot, how do you get that flavor in that bottle? Well, like I said, we use the fruit and we use a lot of fruit. First of all, we don't use imitation flavor. No flavor. It's all about the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the right fruit in season, squeeze it, get the juice in the peeling, and preserve it, and that's how we get the wine to be exact like what we say it is.
And I would have a hard time believing that if I didn't see the trees in your yard. But I literally see the trees in your yard that bears the fruit that they go out and pick for this wine. So what they're doing, nobody else is doing this, right? Because they're using the fruit, they're making it right, they're making it iterative, and they're not being cheap. So you're going to get the best product. Now, I read this, and I think I read it correctly on the bottle. This is, even though it tastes so good, and we've seen people in the past, oh, Moscato, sweet this, sweet that, but it's only typically 4, 5, 6% alcohol in a glass of Moscato. This is significantly higher. Am I right?
Yes, sir. And I always compare it to people when they come out to the winery. I ask them, especially ladies, have you heard of some lady out there named Stella somebody? They all start laughing. Yeah, we know her. I said, well, if you know her after the day, you can be like, Stella who? They all laugh and get a kick out of that. And I tell them, Stella has 5% alcohol. Our lowest, 12%.
Wow.
Our average is 15%.
Wow.
And our highest is 17%. And this is 12%.
12%. So after a nice big glass or two, I will definitely be feeling my wine buzz. And look, for y'all that are out there that drink hard liquor and stuff like that, have hangovers, drink beer, you got to drink a lot of beer. It might not taste that great, and you're choking stuff down. Look, we're getting ready to hit on the third point here, but this tastes great. We know how it's made, which is awesome, right? Because this man just attested to it. It's got a high amount of alcohol in it to give you that buzz. And what touched on the hangovers. And I'm here to tell you, I've drank a bottle and a half of this stuff before. Not this flavor, but other flavors. And I've never had a hangover from this wine. And can you tell us why that is?
That's a good question. So, traditionally, give you a bottle here. Traditionally, a bottle of red wine has about a 20-year shelf life. And reason for that is because the chemicals that preserves it is called sulfites. So a bottle of red wine has about a quarter of a cup of sulfite, and that's the chemicals that preserve it. So when you're drinking it, your body don't like those chemicals, so it's trying to resist it. So that's where the hangover comes from. Our bottle of wine has a tablespoon of sulfite, so you can drink the whole bottle, sleep like a baby, and have no hangover. But the downside is 3-year shelf life. After 3 years, you got an expensive bottle of vinegar. So our wine is made to drink.
Right. And I think that's a good point because I'm here to tell you I bought cases of wine from them, and it doesn't last longer than about 1 to 2 months. So there's no problem with drinking this wine because you're gonna drink it and you're gonna drink it quick, probably a lot quicker than what you think, if I'm being honest. Man, that's all great stuff. Now, you did mention kind of some of the processes here before I get into some other questions, related to your military career. I got one last question. If somebody wants to come out and kind of view how the wine is made, is that possible?
Of course, we do tours. Everybody come to the winery get a tour. The first they get a tour of the history, how we started, how we got started, and then I give them a tour of the building, the winery. Then I give them a tour on how the wine is made, and you get a tour of see all the equipment that we use, the process that we go through from beginning to end. So we are transparent. So you get to see the whole process and you understand how it's made and all the love that gets in it.
Hmm, that's great. Now, is that like if I come out for is that like a combo deal, like part of like the tasting experience, like if I want to do a tasting?
Yes,
Okay.
that's part of the tasting. You get a tour and you get some wisdom and knowledge to go along with it.
Nice, nice. Got you. Now, the tasting. I know I've been out there and I've gotten I think right around 10 or 12 tastings on average when I've done it because I've done it quite a few times. Just because it's that good, and it's phenomenal. So when it comes to the tasting part of it, how many different wines do they have to pick from?
So right now we have 32 different wines. And we give you a list and you go down and you pick 10 out of that 32, which is kind of hard to do because you got 32 of them. But that's why you have to come back multiple times
Mm-hmm.
and try the one that you didn't try the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So you pick 10 and we bring them out there and let you taste it and tell you about it and go from there.
Got you. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I know you saying 10, but word is they might have another flavor coming out soon. So that might be 33. So maybe if they did 11 and they came out 3 times, they could have it all covered, right? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm looking out for y'all. I'm looking out for y'all. No, I'm putting it out there. So we'll let him think about that. We don't need an answer on that one, Danny. But nah, man, I appreciate that background, and I know a lot of y'all appreciate that as well. It's really important to understand where this wine comes from, and part of the story behind it. And again, if you want a little bit more on that story, check this out right here and check it out because it's all about this man's life from where he came from to his military career to where he is right now and everything in between. Now, I'm gonna sit here and keep drinking wine, obviously, but I got some questions for you.
Okay. But let me answer something for you right quick
Mm-hmm.
on the note that you put out about the 10.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we do 10 is because of the DUI rules.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you driving drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't no Stella. So you don't have to drink a whole bottle to get buzz or to feel some kind of way. So we keep it down at 10 is exactly 2 glasses of wine.
Mm.
So the average person can handle 2 glasses of wine. So any more, then you get into that thin line of,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want you driving under the influence. So that's why we keep it at 10.
That's a good point. Now, I got another question before I get into my other questions. Now, say I'm coming out and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of hungry too. Is there any type of options? Do you guys do any type of food or snacks or anything?
Yeah, we have charcuterie cups, and that's a snack with meat and cheese and crackers and fruits and vegetables that we offer that as well as a food, and that's $10 for each one of those charcuterie cups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got you. And you guys are open Saturday and Sundays from noon to 6?
Right, and we open Friday for date nights. Friday is a date night dinner for two for couples, and the dinner for two is a much more variety of food. It's still a charcuterie cup, but it's a big board.
Right.
So it's pretty much all you can eat on a Friday night. And the drink is a little more generous because you got a lot of food to coat your stomach. And yeah.
Yep. And that's what I figured. So, bottom line is there's plenty of opportunities to go out there and taste whatever wine you want as much as you want. Score them, get some bottles to go, get it shipped to you. Again, 42 states, or if you're local, feel free to stop by and check out this man in person, get the tour experience for yourself.
And that's another key. Since you said shipping, we use Vino shipping, which goes through UPS. So when you call from whatever state and you place an order, then UPS will bring it right to your door. And so the only thing about that, the minimum is 4 bottles. That's the minimum, 4 bottles.
Gotcha.
You can do 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, but the minimum is 4, and UPS will bring it right to you.
Gotcha. Now, a case is 12 bottles of wine, right?
Yes, okay. A case is 12.
Got you. Okay. Or they could just do 2 cases, right?
Hey, the sky's the limit.
Hey, I like that. I like that. Now, I appreciate that, though. Now, kind of getting back into, what we started off with, kind of the military history between, we got Air Force up front here representing, we got Army up front here representing as well. Again, Air Force, Army. I know I remember this point in my military career, but I want to ask you about yours. What was that moment, right? Because everybody knows, and we know what they say. How do you know when it's time to go? You know when you know, right? What was that moment when you decided to transition out of the military? What did that look like?
Well, I think we call that an aha moment. And, mine were, after 26 years, actually I wanted to do 30 years. But after 2 tours in Iraq, and then they said we was going to Afghanistan, and I was like, nah, I done had enough.
Right.
And they, how the military is. When they say they want you to do something, they want you to do it.
Yeah.
So I had the option in the rank to decide if I wanted to go or not. And the option was either get out and retire or stay in and go. So I decided, okay, I done had enough. I've seen too much and done too much. It's time for me to get out while I can. So that was my aha moment. That's when I decided to vacate.
And remind me, you said 26 years, 6 months.
3 days.
And 3 days. Hey, look, we remember exactly where we were, how long it was, and, what we're going to do after. So, now that's good to know. And it really is that gut feeling. And honestly, after you hit 20 years, that's kind of the first time in your career that you're able to kind of call the shots. Right. So, I always say, and you might have a different opinion on this, but if you're going to do it, I think the military is a great thing for everybody. It provides structure, things, basic skills. You're going to get a consistent paycheck, either every other week, or you can get paid once a month. That is an option. Now, if you really want to get good with your budgeting skills, that's what I did for about 19 years of my career, was once a month, just because I knew when all the bills were coming out. And so if that interests you, talk to your finance people, because they can set that up for you. Or not, it doesn't really matter. It's all to you. As Bobby Brown says, it is your prerogative. However, time management, essential skills, people skills, skills that can apply to the civilian sector, mechanics, finance, budgeting, teaching. There's a lot of things that the military offers as an opportunity. And I will say, if you do 4 years, if you do any more than 4 years, you might as well make it a career, right? Because typically after those first 4 years, you've been through some of the worst shit you're going to be going through in your career, because you don't have any rank, right? And after 4 years, you got a little bit of rank. Especially after 6 or 8 years, you're going to have a little bit more rank, which means a little bit more money. You're always going to have to deal with some BS, but it's a different level of BS. and you're not going to have to deal with all the BS, just some of it, right? So, that's what I always like to tell people. Hey, if you're going to do it, it's probably a good thing to do. You could do it the enlisted way, or you could go officer, or you can go enlisted and then commission as an officer later. And we'll talk about some of that in future episodes as well.
Now, for me on that spot, that note was, growing up not in the hood, but right outside the hood. I could see the hood. And, I wanted more. And, you watch TV and you see people in different countries and everything, and you wonder, how's that like? I would love to go over there, but I can't afford to go. So I joined the military for traveling.
Mm.
They sent me to more countries than I could ever imagine. And I didn't have to pay anything. It was free.
They were paying you.
And they paid me.
They were paying you.
So I was like, hey, this is a win-win situation.
Right.
So it gave me a broader horizon to think outside the box, not just small town here.
Mm-hmm.
Think worldwide.
Worldwide.
So.
And you've done things in your career probably 5 or 10 times more than anybody's done your age that never was in the military. And all those bucket list items are checked off essentially.
Exactly.
And back to the monetary part of this, because that's what we talk about, is money here as well as wine and business. You got to remember, in a lot of those foreign countries, I know a lot of people don't like paying taxes, and that's great because guess what? A lot of those places are tax-free. You don't have to pay taxes. Tax-free. Some are combat zones, things like that, CZTE, combat zone tax exclusion. So there's a lot of perks to it, right? Like you said, not only are you getting to travel free, you're actually getting paid for it. In a lot of instances, you're getting paid pretty well for it. If you're interested in any of that, we can talk about that in the future as well. No, man, that's good points.
And then the other thing, it teaches you a framework to life. It teaches you how to be a man. It teaches you how to be, to deal with finances, to deal with life, to deal with culture, to deal with personality. It teaches you the basic elements of being a good person, so it has a lot of value. In a lot of countries, they have the military is a must. When you get 18 years old, you have to join the military and spend at least 2 to 3 years. No if and and but. Because that start is so crucial to the rest of your life.
Right.
It teaches you lifestyle changes.
Yep.
That's one of the things that got me to where I am today, lifestyle changes that I learned in the military.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's really formative, right? It helps you get that structure, like you were saying, a good foundation to essentially build the rest of your life on. Nah, man, that's a good point. That's a great point, actually. Now, getting kind of into the nitty gritty of things here, right? When you actually did leave the military, what would you say was the single hardest adjustment that you had to go through to transition to civilian life, and how did that actually make you stronger overall?
Well, it's a lot of points, but the single hardest was discipline, structure. The military was all about discipline and structure. When I transitioned out, it was like there was no discipline and structure. It was chaos. And everybody just did things by the seat of their pants or the fly by the moment.
Right.
And there was no planning. There was no thought behind it. They just did it. Mm-hmm. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, we try it again.
Right.
So to me, that was like, that's chaos. I don't understand. Why don't you do it this way, or plan, or schedule, or have discipline or structure? And they didn't have that.
Right.
So for me, that was very hard to transition from structured military for 26 years to the civilian life, which was it is what it is.
Right. Yeah, that can be frustrating, especially when you're used to having contingencies built into plans, right? You can't just go with one plan because we know that plans don't often survive the first, impact into anything that goes differently in that plan. So you got to have, course of action number two, right? Course of action number three. What if number one and number two don't work? Well, and then you gotta be prepared for that. But I can definitely relate to that because it does seem like sometimes it's almost a definition of insanity in the civilian world. They just keep doing the same stuff over and over, expecting it's going to work, but it never does. And if it does, it's usually by luck, not skill. And that's typically because you have new people, doing things differently, even though it's the same thing. They're just doing it differently. So it just ended up working out. But that's the 5% of the time, right? Now, if you got contingencies built in, oh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get it done. But how smooth is it gonna go? Because if you don't have contingencies built in to anything in life, be it finances, fitness, small business, any plethora of things will become a roadblock and stop you dead in your tracks, right? Whereas if you have contingencies, that's just a speed bump. It's just gonna slow you down a little bit. But if you don't have those plans, you're not ready for it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be stuck.
One thing, a key thing that I learned in the military was the 5 P's. I don't know if they teach that in the Air Force, but in the Army they call it the 5 P's. And the 5 P's, they drill that into you day after day, month after month, year after year. And the 5 P's are, and this is what helped me transition from military to the business I am now. The 5 P's: proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Mm-hmm.
Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Shoot, that's 6. We got an extra one.
Piss poor is one word.
Oh, that's one. That's an Army thing.
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
One word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And with life as outside the military, you got to plan.
Got to.
A lot of people come to the winery and go, "Wow, this is awesome. I would like to do this." So what do you do? "Oh, I work at Burger King. I work at McDonald's." Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But are you planning to leave Burger King or McDonald's? What are you doing? Are you investing? Are you just talking?
Mm-hmm.
Are you working up a plan? Do you have goals? What are your plans?
Yep.
Oh, I just want to do it. So you're expecting money to just fall out the sky on you?
Mm-hmm.
Prosperity just fall out?
Yep. I mean, right? Exactly. It's hopes without a plan is just a dream. You know what I mean? You got to have something that's tangible in front of you. You got to have a plan. And I mean, just to break it down, because we like to drop nuggets on you guys, when we can, is it can be as simple as just getting up an hour early every day. It can really be that simple. If you find yourself, you're not able to get done as much as you want to get done, if you're always running late, you're running out of time on stuff, just get up an hour early. You'd be amazed at what that extra hour per day affords you the time to do, right? You get a lot of things done. You don't feel like you're scrambling all the time, and you won't be as stressed all the time, right? You might actually show up early to some things. Isn't that crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? So that is such a good point. Now, before we wrap up this first episode here, I do have one very important question for you. Now, I don't ask this of everybody, but I'm going to ask it of you because I think you're an important person that can give a very interesting perspective on this. Now, if I was to say you could go back in time, and while you're transitioning, give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be? Now, you can apply it to transitioning, or let me double down here, just life in general. What would you say would be one piece of advice you would give yourself on life in general? You can make a transition, you can make it whatever you want. But what's that one piece? If you only got time to see your past self, You only got 2 minutes to give them that one piece of advice. What would that be?
Well, I would always say we have a slogan in the Army called "Be All You Can Be." So learn your craft, learn what you want to do out of life, what you want to be, and prepare for it. Dr. King says, I have a dream, and that's great. But the prophet says, dreamers only come to sleepers. So in reality, what are you going to do with that dream? How are you going to make that dream a reality? You got to plan the 5 P's again. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. So finances, you got to save, you got to put money back, you got to prepare for the reality. It ain't going to just give it to you. It's not free. So you got to have finances. So you got to get with somebody like yourself to get some financial advice. How can I get where I want to be? What I need to have to get where I want to be? And that's where the structure come in at. How much you got to save, how much you got to prepare to be where you want to be. Now, for me, I didn't save like I should have saved in the military. I wish I had it, but I didn't. But I learned after I got out what it takes, and I started then. So is it ever too late? It depends on what you're trying to do. But back again, having a financial advisor like yourself, and then another important thing with a financial advisor, don't just get any financial advisor. They got a lot of them on TV, a lot of them commercials, and they tell you, I can make you rich, I can do all this, but look at their lifestyle. Are they rich? You know, they got all these non-profits saying, I can teach you how to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. But they're not a millionaire. So how can you teach me what you're not?
Boom.
So look at the person, lifestyle, and the example, how he is, if you want to learn from him to be where you want to be. Mm-hmm. The word said, iron sharpen iron. You know, that's what the Bible said, iron sharpen iron. So if you want to be rich, talk to a rich person. Learn from a rich person. If you want to be an athlete, then hang around athletes and learn how to be an athlete. Yep. You know? Mm-hmm. So that would be my advice.
No, that's great advice. And clearly you have plans, sir. You have put your plans in action. You didn't just hope. You just didn't sit back and dream. Now, you might have been dreaming about wine a whole lot, but I am literally drinking it right now in reality. So to that, I want to toast again to you, to us, to y'all out there. We're going to sit here and sip and enjoy this wine. We're going to wrap up this first episode. Be sure to subscribe, like it, share it with everybody you know, your mama and them, everybody, the brothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, uncles. I don't give a. Share it with them. But also, importantly, go out, visit them online, check out all the links in the description, and go ahead and let us know down in the comments what you want us to cover in future episodes, okay? Do you have a specific thing you want to talk about from an investment standpoint? You want to talk about IULs? Do you want to talk about crypto? Do you want to talk about... Now, if you do, check out my books down there as well. I have a money series, you know, Money 101 to Money 106. We're going to do things on fitness as well. You want to talk about fitness. You want to see how you can get swolled up, you know, see how it's locked. Don't get it twisted. You know, what do you want to learn? Do you want to learn more about wine? Do you want to learn more about starting up a small business, founding something like this, starting things, investing in other small businesses like we do, mentoring, motivational speaking, etc., so on? Let us know down in the comments. We're pretty good, but we cannot read minds. So y'all, let us know. Again, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to see you soon in the next episode.
And come by the winery, taste the wine, and let us know what you think about the wine.
Boom. And let us know in the comments. Appreciate you.